Hey y'all, it's Bennett, and I am back from the Southeast Game Exchange. I had a great time checking out my very first game expo convention thing, and I am totally stoked to be back adding all my new goodies to my collection. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what I got. Let's start, day one. Of course, the first thing I did on day one, because I arrived at about 3 o'clock, I went straight into the talk by Mr. Rightway and Retro Rick and Phoenix Resale himself, Caleb, on the subject of game hunting and resale and flipping to build your collection. So my kind of stuff, obviously the things that I wanted to hear, and seeing these guys that I've watched on YouTube and that have been inspirational for the way I've gone about building my collection, seeing them in person and even getting to talk to them just a little bit and shake their hands. Don't worry, I'm double vaccinated, I'm all good, but anyway, shaking hands and saying hi was really cool. And they were all very nice and encouraging people, and it was well worth taking the time to watch their talk and get to go up and say hi to them. So yep, check them all out. I'm sure I'll put links in the thing in where the links go. But okay, so what do you do after that? You go straight into the convention hall itself, and it was just like a wonderland of video game stuff. Like a huge auditorium full to the brim with video games as far as the eye could see. I was just blown away. And it was overwhelming, even getting a look at what all was available and trying to find a place to start and go. So turn left, look at the first thing there, and make your way left down the aisle, back down the next aisle, then the next aisle, and so on. And it was enormous, and there were the thing said over 100 vendors, and I totally believe it. And they all had just treasure galore, and I'm going to show you what I got. Now, remember when I said without further ado? Well, I guess that was the further ado, but this is it for now. So, not really knowing the best way to start, I went into it with some ideas of things that I wanted to get to complete boxes or put manuals in box games and get some games that I have boxes for. Anyway, I wanted to make complete sets of some of the things on my list. So that is a big part of what I tried to do, was looking for individual games and manuals and to fill in some of the boxes I have, because that's fun. And then of course there were also some other games that I was looking for that I don't have at all, and so on and so forth. So, and try other things that I wanted to upgrade. So we'll get to the rest of that. But anyway, the first thing that I laid out money for was WWF Raw for the Sega Genesis. Do I know anything about this game? Not really. I played one of the wrestling games on the Super Nintendo back in the day. It might have been Raw, I can't remember. But of course, I have a Genesis Raw box, and now I have the game to go inside it. So, but that started up the engines and revved it up for the rest of the adventure. So we move on. The next outlay of goodness was at a booth that had kind of some lower end stuff and some things that were not in perfect immaculate condition. Really, kind of the kind of stuff I find at yard sales and so on. So they kind of looked familiar to me. But they had a box of manuals. So with the help of my lovely wife, we went through the box of manuals to figure out what I needed. And of course I had to check against my CLZ game collecting app to see which games I had in the box that needed manuals. So we found some Tetris 2, Dr. Mario, Solstice. All of these were $1 except where this one was like $2. I went ahead and got this Xbox Sega GT 2002, which I have the combo pack where it's GT 2002 and Jet Set Radio, or I think is the kind of other half of that pack, and this is only the manual for GT 2002, but whatever, take it. Like I said, Tetris 2. Nintendo Land, I feel like I probably have, or I'm going to run into at any rate, a loose or missing manual copy of Nintendo Land. So kind of got that because I was just putting a pile together. Same with Super Smash Bros. For the Wii, and then I needed a manual for Super Mario Bros. In a set that I'm going to sell. So that completes that set, and yeah. So that was, I think I got all that pile for $5, and that was a good, good little start to the adventure. So we move on. The next place that I got anything was also on the manual hunt, and these were a little higher end. So we got, and these are in really good condition, in little sleeves and everything. Genghis Khan, which I recently got, it's on the shelf over here somewhere, but didn't have a manual. Ultima Exodus, which is also over on the shelf without a manual, and Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. So, yep, these three, I think I got for 40 even, took, a couple bucks off of the total. But, it was well worth it to fill in some of these boxes and make them complete. And while I was picking these up, my wife came over and said, ooh, I found the game you were looking for. She had totally been doing the hunting for me, and tracked down one of the games that I've been looking for forever. And something that I played back in the day at my friend's house because he had a Genesis and never had a chance to own myself, and that of course is Ghostbusters. This is way better than the Nintendo or any other version of the game that was on Nintendo. It was on all sorts of systems, but the Genesis one is actually its own animal. It's very different from it, is way better, and it's hard, but it's fun, and I'm super stoked to have it in the collection. And not only that, but it is super clean and in great shape and complete with manual and game. I mean, look how cool that is. Come on. And look, the all black Genesis box, that's just awesome. So this is one of the best looking, covers for a Genesis game, in my opinion. Very simple. Ghostbusters logo, can't beat that. And then that black spine looks so cool. So, and of course, it even has the hang tab, which pro and con, I think the hang tabs usually wind up being kind of bent down when I have where I fit my Genesis games. So maybe I'll have to adjust the shelf or something. Anyway, super excited to get Ghostbusters, and for $25 less than my kind of high amount that I would have paid for it. So I think I got a good price, and I was super stoked to add it to my collection. Okay, that's day one. We were only there for we were only there about 3 hours, really 2 hours in the expo, considering we did the talk from 3 to 4, so we only had a couple hours to look around. But we were going back for day two, and I got my plan together and some things that I wanted to look for, some of which I got and some of which I didn't, but yeah, went back for day 2, and here's what I found. The first purchase, I believe this was first, hang on. Actually, you know what, this was first. We'll do this. So I found Fortune Street for the Wii, a game that I've been looking for a long time. It's basically like a Monopoly game with Mario characters, and how cool is that? And it's from Square Enix, and it's a oddity, and I hear it's pretty fun. And yeah, been looking for it for a long time. I remember, seeing it go by at GameStop and never pulling the trigger on it. So I got it. They wanted $30 for it, and I said, okay, well, if I pay $30 for this, will you let me have Star Fox Guard Star Fox Zero/Guard, whatever, that they wanted 10. I was like, you let me throw that in for 5, make 35. And the guy was like, nah, I can't do it. And I was like, really? That's bizarre. So, I mean, I figured they would be wanting to kind of dump this one off, but whatever. So I said, okay, whatever, put it back. So paid full 30 for this, and then the guy who was like really running the booth overheard what was going on and said, did he just pay full price for Fortune Street? I said, yeah. And what did he want? He wanted this for $5. I was like, yeah, do it. So I ended up getting it for 5. Greatest deal in history? Probably not. But in the moment, it was cool to get these two things for a manageable, reasonable price. And I'm looking forward to playing this one and putting this on the shelf. Oh, and for the record, the Starfighter, well, take my word for it, the games inside are sealed, so go figure. A sealed copy of Star Fox Zero/Guard for $5 and $30 for Fortune Street. Pretty good, can't complain. So I went down a little further and saw a guy who had lots of cool stuff like a Virtual Boy and some boxed systems and this, that, and the other thing. And anyway, long story short, we got to talking about the offerings he had, we got to talking about Mario Paint, let's just say it. And he had some asking price on it, and said he would let me have it for 80, I think. And I was like, let me think about it. And so of course that means, for me, if I want a complete, this is complete, has the big book, has the mouse pad game, all the trimmings are up in here. Box not in the superest of shape, but it's certainly doable, and I'm happy to have it. Yeah, but I didn't pay the full price, no sir. I did the thing where, you go find something else, add them together, and get a discounted price all on top of that. So I was able to find a copy of Ocarina of Time. You'll note that he has meat stickers on there from, he said he used to be a butcher, and when he left his butcher shop, he asked if he could take home a pricing gun, and they gave him a huge roll of pricing stickers, so that's how he prices everything, with the meat sticker. So, alright. Anyway, so I got these two pieces of meat together for, he had wanted 80 for this and 45 for that. I got them together for 90, and there you go. That's how we roll. Again, probably people could get this for a better price than that. But I was happy with it. It was in my wheelhouse, and that was fine. And this, I actually already have a complete copy of Ocarina of Time. This is to complete another box copy that has a box and manual. The box is not in great shape. I have upgraded it in my own collection, And anywho, this will go right nicely into that box of manual set and will then be sold off for hopefully in the neighborhood of $100, even with a, you know, rough looking box. At the very least, I could probably get 90, and you know, that cover the cost here. Get my free Mario paint. That's how the game is done. We keep going. Like I said, I was looking for some random games to fill in cases that I had, and one of them was, can you see this? The Street Fighter Alpha Anthology for the PS2. It said marked at 8. I got it for 5, and yep, fills in the case and manual that I had for this from some yard sale from a ways back. So that's cool. I had no idea how much this was going to be whenever I found it. I kind of assumed it would be a lot, but it was not. So anyway, I don't know what the going rate for it is, but I figured $5 was a steal. So yep, that's cool. And then at the next booth down, I picked up Ride to Hell Retribution. Yeah, that's it. Ride to Hell Retribution. That terrible motorcycle club game that you've seen on Angry Video Game Nerd and Worst Games Ever, Triple Jump. Everywhere that has a crappy games YouTube section of, comes out with this game. It's bad. It's pointless. It was cheap, and I got it together with a loose copy of Mario 3D World for the Wii U that will fill in another box that I had, and then will be shipped off to pay for the 2 items together. How about that? Or, getting 2 games and selling one to pay for the other. That is how you get a large collection without spending up a bunch of family money. The other cool thing to keep in mind is that I've done a lot of selling on eBay of the various things I've gotten at yard sales and all that stuff. In fact, I sold 2 Xbox 360 bundles while I was at the trip, and I just packed those up today. That'll go out tomorrow. So funding the collection with pieces bought at yard sales and shipped away, racked up a pretty good amount of money, and that's what I was using this whole time buying all these things. So whatever I spent at the show was money that I had earned from selling things I'd bought at yard sales. Got it? I think you got it. Yeah. And so it shall be going forward. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving my own shot to Ride to Hell. Maybe I will record a playthrough or stream it or some other nonsense and let you see what I think of it. Yep. So it's good to get a terrible game, especially if you can get it without actually really paying for it. Moving on. Okay, this was pretty cool. So there was one booth that had some really expensive like sealed games and high quality boxed games. They had 3 or 4 original Super Mario Brothers, not the Mario Duck Hunt, but Super Mario Brothers in its own in the black box, that were going for like $300 each or whatever, because they were in great shape and complete and all that stuff. And they had some sealed games, and the prices were high. And I looked them over, and there was nothing I wanted to spend that kind of money on. But, I was there for 2 days. I went by this booth several times, and midway through the second day, I noticed that the prices were slashed on a couple of the games. Some of the things had sold, and some of them just had, markdowns. So, like one of them, it was a sealed copy of Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. That was the first print edition, where they printed all these different controller configurations on the back that were not actually applicable to Breath of the Wild. And then when they reissued, the second print or whatever, they put just what was usable, not nunchuck or whatever. So anyway, he had a first print of that sealed that he was trying to sell for like $700, and then he had slashed it down to $600. Pretty cool. Of course, that was not something I was going there for and not interested. But right next to that, he had 2 other Zelda games on the Wii U, and one of which was Wind Waker HD that was sealed, and as he put it, in near mint condition. I looked it over, and I don't know from condition, but it looked fantastic to me. There were like one little spot on the front and 2 little spots on the back where something bumped up against it, but the seals look perfect and everything like that. And of course, I've been seeing all these guys on YouTube sending their sealed games into WATA or the other ones to get graded and see where they go from there. So I've kind of been trying to look out for an opportunity to give that a try. And anywho, long story short, too late, but all right. He had $200 on that and slashed it down to $120. $120 was still a bit rich for my blood. It's not a bad price for especially a really, really good condition sealed copy, but not what I wanted to pay. So I looked around to see what else I could get to bring into a deal. So I eventually settled on a very nice complete copy of Golf in the NES black box here. Yep, very nice. I did not yet have it in the collection, and it is in better condition than most of the black box things I have. And then here is the Wind Waker HD sealed and, ready to be sent in if I'm going to take that plunge. So together, he wanted $35 for Golf and $120 for Zelda. I asked if he would take $130 for them together. Or maybe I said $135. So $120, this is $35, $120 would have been $155. I think I said $135, $20 off. That's more like it in my estimation. So add something cool to the collection and get, at the very least, another cool thing in the collection. But, hopefully something I will be able to, I'll pull the trigger on sending it to WATA or whoever to get graded and boxed up in the cool acrylic and see how we do. I don't know the first thing about how to judge what grade this is going to get. So I would love to see it get a 9.4. If it gets an 8.5, okay, I don't know, but it'll be worth a try. And this is a good price point to, short of finding a pristine condition game, brand new in, at the bottom of a Walmart shelf or something, for buying something in the secondary market, this was a pretty good price point to get into to try out the whole grading thing. So we'll let you know how that goes whenever I get around to making it happen. Oh, and I put it in a case since I got home to keep it from getting knocked around. Let's see, I also wandered down amongst the other NES and Super Nintendo games that people had all in glass cases and, complete, and God, there were tons that were catching my fancy. Somebody had Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo for like $175, but it was missing the manual, and I didn't want to shell out that kind of money if it was missing the manual. Then there was, somebody had a copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that looked pretty good for about that same amount. It was a little bit dinged up here and there, but it, pretty good. And there were, I mean, you could go all the way up. They had, you know, Gotcha Force for the GameCube. They had Earthbound. They had, you know, somebody had a pretty much complete copy of Earthbound. It apparently was missing like the tray that goes in the box that holds everything together, and maybe some other little part. But and that was they're asking, you know, $1,200 for that. And believe me, I thought about how I could make that work, but I just couldn't. So still sitting on the loose copy I have with the manual, with the, you know, big book manual thing. No problem there. Anyway, so many holy grails in one place. They had both NES G.I. Joe games, which are, you know, not the highest end things in the world, but they're definitely high on my priority list. All the Mario parties and Pokemon games for every system that you could be looking for were available. Pokemon Box on the GameCube was there. I don't even know how much they wanted for that. They didn't have a sticker on it, and I didn't want to ask. Mainly because at the booth where they had Pokemon Box, they also had another Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that they were asking like $400 for, and that was way too much. But anyway, so Pokemon Box, they probably wanted $1,000, I guess. Whatever. Yeah. But bottom line is, I looked and I looked and I looked, and I finally decided, okay, what was going to be, you know, most important to me. And if you know me, you know how I roll. I'm a big time slasher fan, slasher movies, and so I had my eye on a Nightmare on Elm Street complete in box NES box and everything. And it looked beautiful, really, really good shape. And yeah, it was in a glass case. And even Freddy Krueger himself was on hand to express interest in the game, which was really cool. Guy cosplaying as NES Freddy with instead of the red and green, it was, you know, orange and gross tan, I guess. But in fact, when Freddy went and picked it up out of the case and was, you know, posing with it and taking pictures and whatever, I was like, okay, fun and games are great, but don't go away with that, because I'm totally buying that. Put it back. That was, you know, I didn't say it out loud, but I was in my head. I was terribly afraid that they were going to say, "You take it, Freddy," and I would miss my chance. But anyway. Because I was literally there to pick up the game when Freddy came walking by. All right. Anyway, they had that in there, and they had yet another copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for a much more reasonable price, and it looked great, and it was complete except for the Tyson letter. None of the ones that I ran across in the expo at all had that letter, where basically Mike Tyson, you know, I'm sure somebody wrote it for him, whatever, but anyway, Mike Tyson is telling you, congratulations for buying the game, and, you know, get ready to have him, you know, beat your butt, because that's what Tyson does in the game, and I guess in real life too. But anywho, so I took a look at those and the prices therein, and once Freddy and his entourage were out of the way, I got the people's attention and said, you know, haul me out the Nightmare on Elm Street and the Punch-Out. And we worked out a deal. They wanted like $230 for Nightmare on Elm Street and a little over $200 for Punch-Out. And I got them together for $400, which was, you know, price charting says that I paid a little bit over what I probably should have for the going rate, but really not by much. $175 and like $180. To get the really great condition, look, I don't know, Street, complete, or at least complete without the letter, which like nobody has, and be able to carry them out in my hot little hands and say, these are mine now, was well worth whatever incremental amount over the kind of again, eBay going rate or whatever that price charting would have had. So the other, good thing, I didn't have any Mike Tyson Punch-Out at all. I think I have Punch-Out, the re-release without Tyson, the Mr. Dream Punch-Out. I think I have a loose card of that, possibly, but I don't have MTPO, and so now I do, and it's complete and looks great. But I did have a loose cart of Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'll be able to sell that back and get some money back from this purchase. So totally psyched to have these in the collection. This is really cool. Obviously, Punch-Out is a gem among all of their gems. It's not the most expensive thing on the pile. It's not, a world champion card or anything like that, but it's a obviously NES classic, and I'm glad to finally get a copy of it, especially one that looks so amazing. And ditto Nightmare on Elm Street. It's probably a really crappy game from everything I've seen of it, like Angry Video Game Nerd and others. But as a slasher fan, I've got the loose card already, and now I have complete box set, and it will go right in. And next step is to get a box and manual for my Friday the 13th cart. Actually, I think I have the manual. It's over here. It's right here. I don't have the manual. Anyway, Friday the 13th is over there. Got to get a box and manual for that, and I'll have the Freddy and Jason set. Very exciting. All right, and then we are getting towards the end. Thank you for being with me this whole time. My gosh, time is just filling up here. So this is a super long episode. Thank you for watching. I'll go fast now here. Let's see. I went and found another spot that had some loose manuals. Got these guys here. I think there are 7 of them. You got Bad Dudes, Highline, which has a little tear in it, but it's okay. It's better than nothing. And Dr. Mario, which I actually got another Dr. Mario. I think I needed 2 Dr. Mario. I don't know. For some reason, I now have. Maybe I bought something I shouldn't have. But whatever. Can't have enough Dr. Mario manuals. That's what I have always said. Just like my grandfather used to say. Cobra Triangle and Disney's Adventure in the Magic Kingdom manual, Dash Galaxy and the Alien Asylum, and Yoshi. And yep, those I needed to put in their respective boxes. I still needed a cart for Yoshi, but I picked up the manual while I was at it. And yeah, these were 5 a piece or 3 for 10. I got 7 for 21, so $3 a piece. It's all right. They didn't. Those guys didn't want to haggle hard or anything, so the best I could get out of them was 21. But that's all right. And those will nicely complete some games. Like I said, though, I needed to get Yoshi, so let's just go this way. So I went and found a copy of Yoshi. They wanted 15, and it's kind of gross, but I can get that stuff off alcohol, no problem. The game itself looks pretty good, but they wanted a little, that's all right price. Not a great price, an okay price. But yes, they wanted 15. I also needed for a box. Needed this for a box, and now I have the manual. And then I also needed a gray cart, Legend of Zelda, which they wanted 35 for that. And then I spotted Ghostbusters for the NES, which of course is the inferior version. It's not anywhere near as good as the cool one I got for the Genesis, but I love me some Ghostbusters. It's my favorite movie of all time. Always has been, always will be. And I've got to have the game, so I've been looking for it. found it there. They wanted 40, and it says, as you can see, it says does not include manual. So, big brain time. I went up and asked, first of all, if they would take 75 all in for this, which would basically be, which was, 40, 35 for Zelda, and then $15 worth of Yoshi thrown in for free. They didn't quite go for that, but they said they would do 80, so I was good on that. And then I hustled back down around the way to where the guy with the big stack of manuals was, and picked up Ghostbusters Manual. So now, complete set Ghostbusters. I went ahead and just paid the $10 for the manual. It was fine. It was in really great shape. And complete copy of Ghostbusters for the NES coming home with me for $50 or whatever that comes out to. Not too shabby. I'm very stoked to have it. I did not actually expect to find a good copy of this there. I was hoping to find the Genesis one, and I did. Now I got the Nintendo one as well. I'm stoked. And that's pretty much it. Except for literally on the way out when everybody was closing up their booths and wrapping things up. I was watching anybody's booths that still had merchandise out, eyeballing anything that I thought I could get for, a quick score out the door. And on the, in the last booth on the way out the door, I picked up this copy of the Data East Collection, Data East Classic Collection. This is a new cartridge for the Super Nintendo that features 5 old Data East games: Fighter's History, something, I guess 2, Side Pocket, Magical Drop, and Magical Drop 2. Now, those are hot bangers, every one of them, and everybody wants to play them, and the line is forming out the door to play them right now. But I pretty much just got them because I have 2 of the other games in this kind of re-release new old Super Nintendo game collections. I'm looking down here to see what they are. The Joe and Mac collection and the Brawler collection. So adding this to the sub collection there, I guess, and I got it for $16 instead of the 20, and which is good because on Amazon new they're like 50 or something like that, and for some reason price charting has them at some stupid $200, which is don't buy it, especially don't buy it from somebody for $200 unless it's me. If you want to pay me $200, give me a call. But yeah, keep them sealed. I don't have any particular purpose for playing them, but I like the way they look, and I like having the set. I don't think there are any other games in the set, so I guess it's complete. And if it's not, I'll track it down sometime. Yeah, but that was it. That was 2 amazing days at the Southeast Game Exchange. I just had a grand time, and my wife had a good time. Not as good as me. In fact, she dropped me off on day 2 and went to Trader Joe's because we don't have one anywhere near us. So, she was just as excited to go up and down the aisles and be overwhelmed and get a whole bunch of stuff at Trader Joe's as I was at the Game Exchange. But then she rejoined me later, and we picked up some things that for my daughter and all that stuff. So yeah, it was awesome. I can't wait to go back to Southeast Game Exchange. If they have it again next year, I think it would totally be worth it. And there are other game expos in between that are maybe even closer, and we're on the lookout for those. So maybe I'll see you there. This has been a tremendously long video, and if you've stuck with me this far, kudos to you. We're not worthy. I hope you are inspired to sign up and get tickets for the next game convention that's, you know, in your neck of the woods, because I mean, I didn't even get into all the arcade games they had on free play there, and you know, celebs that I may have mentioned before, they were there, and the tournaments that were going on, like a Tetris tournament and some other like old school game tournaments, and I think even like new Smash Ultimate had a tournament going, and so much to do. There were tons of cosplayers. The I think it's the 501st Legion of Stormtroopers had representatives there, and booths of all description, things from Japanese games, American games, any system you want. It was overwhelming and awesome, and you know, you couldn't see everything there in 3 days, much less 2, but yep, it was super good, super cool, and I'll be doing it again, and hope you will too. Thank you so much for watching this super long episode. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time, and I promise it won't be 45 minutes next time. Thanks so much.